Hey everybody, welcome back to my habitat, back in my mom's garden again, and we're gonna be kind of doing a part 2 of the garden bed right behind me, finishing it up. We have 2 peonies to move, and we have some really fun stuff to plant, so let's get started. So our first peony is right here. Of course, this is a perennial peony that dies back in the winter. We're gonna be moving it to behind the 2 other peonies, so just right there, and making like a little cluster of them. And then our second peony is actually a tree peony, this one right here, that's grown underneath this tall pillar evergreen. So we're gonna try our best to dig it up with a very big root ball and pretty much just move it forward, about right there where that little dark spot is. I'm actually really nervous about moving this tree peony. So it's been here for almost 10 years. It's also had a lot of time to intergrow with the roots of this giant evergreen. So I'm nervous about what the roots are gonna look like by the time I dig this root ball up, or if I can even get a big root ball, simply because of the large roots from the tree. Yeah, I'm gonna give it my best shot, but I am really nervous that I could kill this. So fingers crossed it goes well. I'll obviously be giving updates throughout the season, but let's move this guy and try to get as big of a root ball as I can. Let's get started. Okay, we'll start from this angle.
Okay.
Yeah, I can already. It's very rooty. So this is actually like the least ideal time to transplant a peony. The best times to do it is either earlier in the spring whenever the shoots are just coming up, or later in the fall while the plant's kind of starting to die back and before the ground freezes. What I'm going to do right now, since I just transplanted them, is actually cut off any of the blooms that are existing. So this one is kind of old, they're kind of starting to die back. So it needs to be done anyways, but I don't want them to get a seed head because I don't want them putting any energy into creating seeds. I want them to put all of their energy into, focusing on root growth and just staying healthy. So on both peonies that I transplanted, I'm gonna de-head or deadhead any of the spent blooms, once again, so seeds don't develop. Okay, let's talk about the perennials we're going to be putting inside this space. Also some annuals. First one, Boom Chocolata Geranium. This gets about 2 feet high, 60 centimeters. Beautiful, beautiful blue flowers, purpley really. But these fill in and become such a nice texture. I also love the kind of slightly darker foliage on this compared to some other geraniums that I've seen. Love this plant. I have 3 timeless night heucheras to put in this area. I've never met a heuchera that I didn't like, and I'm loving this dark foliage with these really beautiful pink bloom spikes. Now, even without the spikes, I think this brings so much color to the garden with a bit of texture with the frilly leaves. Gotta love a heuchera. Timeless night, once again. And we have 3 of them to put in this area. I also have 2 Japanese bloodgrass. Now this grass is just considered perennial in my zone 5, but I'm gonna love this texture back behind the peonies over here because it's just color and texture that's much needed. I have a lot of leafy things in this garden, but not much of this tall grass texture with, of course, the red in the leaves. Beautiful, and I can't wait to see it grow up. It gets 4 to 5 feet tall, so about 1.5 meters. Whoa, I'm gonna love this. I have 2 of them to put in. We also have this cool as ice blue fescue grass. Now, this is a grass that my mom really likes, and since it's her garden, we of course have to throw it in. Beautiful plant, stays about the size that it is. It might spread and get a little bit bigger, but it is a really nice texture that is very different than the Japanese blood grass, and really a different texture than anything else. I think I'm gonna put it close to the heucheras just for some drastic color difference. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm really excited to see it all finished and planted together. We also bought a hanging basket that was on sale, which is some beautiful pink begonias. But I just wanted to take a moment and say there are actually 3 large plants in this one basket. So if we were to buy each one of these plants individually, we would be paying quite a bit more than if we just bought the hanging basket. And what we're gonna do is just separate each plant and plant them individually. So a little bit of a tip, if you haven't thought about doing that before, I do it quite a bit, especially on hanging baskets whenever they go on sale. I see, $10 hanging basket, well, I get 3 large plants out of that. Bang for your buck, love it. And they're gonna be going in around the border for just some constant color throughout the summer. I'm gonna get these all placed and planted, and then we're gonna do a final look through. Of course, I will also mulch in between that.
Beautiful.
Just about to give this tree peony a really good soak. Daniel's bringing over the hose right now because we just transplanted it and it's already looking not very happy. So we're gonna give it some water. Beautiful. And you can leave the handle there and just let it soak. Yeah. And we're gonna give everything a good water in. So I did fib earlier. Where the peony was originally, we ended up putting that cool as ice grass. And now I think it's kind of hard to tell in the camera, but it does really pop there because that's a really true green foliage. Same with the hardy geranium right there. So having that texture and that kind of bluey green color really helps break it up. And from far, it makes it just very separated, and you can tell that, there's separate plants there, which I really like. It doesn't just look like a mass of green. Now, it's kind of hard to tell because we have dabbled light at the moment, so my camera's not really sure what to focus on. But I placed the heucheras right in the back right there, along with one of the begonias right there that I love. It really does pop. It's going to bring some color to where all this green is. Absolutely beautiful. Now, our 2 Japanese blood grasses are behind these peonies. One right there and one right there. So my hope is that they're going to get tall and kind of just tower over slightly these peonies, giving it the kind of grassy texture in the background with a little bit of color with the red, obviously. We have our chocolata hardy geranium, one right there, one on the other side of the peony that we placed right there. Now they're gonna fill in, especially that one's gonna get big, especially because it has more sun. This one does get more sun earlier in the day, but I'm excited for both of them just to fill in. And they have similar, sort of similar foliage whenever you stand back to the tree peony. So I'm hoping that it's gonna just kind of create this really nice little green wall right here that's gonna fill in and hopefully be really beautiful. I'm just really excited to see everything fill in and be, big and beautiful and bring color and depth as we continue throughout the year. I want to thank you guys for watching today. I had a blast working with plants. It's never a dull moment, especially whenever I get to work with this many plants and just do a full out planting. Yeah, it just, it makes me so happy. It gives me so much joy to do this. And it gives me even more joy to be able to share it with you guys. So thank you for watching. Until next time, stay planting.